Hello and welcome to this pick a card reading, which is a spotlight on what your soul intended to experience in this human lifetime, why you incarnated into the life that you did, what your soul meant to learn, gain, grow, achieve, or whatever messages come out in this reading. So I have 4 different piles here: pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can make your selection and head on over to the description box, and I will meet you in your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you chose this card, you chose from the Inner Child's deck. This is an oracle that was created by a mother with her children. So our first card out is, where do you think guilt resides? It walks alongside us. So a message from your inner child right away. This is going to be a pretty intense reading, and we'll address a lot of things. I'm no stranger to talking about the uncomfortable, so I may need to give a trigger warning that this might get pretty deep, but I'll go there if you want to go there. So hang in for the ride if you're up for it. Let's get some other oracle cards out on the board here. We've already selected. This is from the astrological oracle. This is Mercury. Okay, so already I'm feeling like your inner child really, let me get this to focus. Your inner child really wants to communicate in this lifetime. It wants to be a part of your story. It wants to be a part of your life. It really, why is this not focusing? Okay. It really has something that it wants to say. I want to get some other things out on the table here. Celebrate seasons and flow. Oh, I love these. Okay, so I'm really feeling a lot of childlike return to innocence, excuse me for bumping the camera, return to nature, um, communicating with your natural self, communicating with the natural rhythms. So this feels, pile 1, like much of your life path is made, is tailored around observing and communicating with what's happened in your childhood experience and shining a light on the fact that like you were left alone to deal with it, that you really didn't have anyone. Mercury is about the nervous system. It's very much about communication, early childhood, the nervous system. As represented with the caduceus here, there's like a medical lean towards it, but it has nothing to do with the body and medicine, more so the communication of the nervous system, the messenger. So this is like a deep reprogramming. It feels like you came to speak new messages into your childhood, much in the way of like what you were meant to focus on. Right now, as I'm recording this in the US, we're gearing up towards like the holiday season, which is really like the consumer season. And it doesn't at all flow with celebrating our natural seasons because of the consumerist lean, we kind of get things forced to happen faster than they need to. And that's what I'm getting the feeling of, is that like you had to grow up way faster than you needed to, or than you should have needed to. It like impeded your own flow. Um, and that much of this lifetime is about learning how to soothe and speak to your inner child, uh, to learn how to create with it, to learn how to bond with it. Do you see this like familiar in this card? Like this speaks to me of sacred ritual, inner child, intentional meditation or time spent with this cat, this partnership, this like comfort in an otherwise like gray time where you're seeking this light, you're seeking this hope, you're seeking for your flow. Um, and the lion in here too. This is like protective of the child self. I want to read this. Drink in the wonders of the season. What colors, sounds, flavors, and textures is the natural world presenting to you at this time? What stories does this season whisper to you? Absorb inspiration from seasonal joys and delicacies specific to where you dwell to breathe life into your creative practice. So, this speaks to me of witchcraft. It's like, maybe you weren't allowed to develop your own spiritual beliefs, also. Yeah, wade into the stream of flow, Art Witch. Invoke relaxed concentration to wholly immerse yourself in the moment. Make your magic a moving meditation. Banish distractions to fully experience the energized flow state and allow the current to carry you into fresh, intriguing territory. This is beautiful. So I get that your life path is about returning to like childhood innocence and the ability to um, be peaceful, be alive, be innocent, be calm, be peaceful, not have to have the forced rush of adulthood all the time. Like to be able to remain this innocent child self. I'm going to get some more cards out here. I've got a few other oracles. Archangel Sandalphon with you now. Not familiar with this archangel, but by the artwork of it, and with the 22 here, this is 22 is the number of a master builder, like a blueprinter, like a divine archetype. And I feel like you're meant to set some sort of precedent, set some sort of create some sort of ritualistic way to communicate maybe to other people who have this. Like you're meant to help harmonize, is what I get the feeling of with Sandalphon here with you now. Yeah, like you're supposed to, and when I say supposed to, what I don't mean is a burden, like it's your obligation, like it's your responsibility, and that you're failing if you're not actively working on this in some sort of way, especially anyway. Okay. What I do mean by you're supposed to is that your life lessons and the challenges that you go through are going to shape and mold you into being a person that can hold the light of this um, situation, okay? That you can rise to emotional maturity, that you can rise to self mastery through the challenges of your life. And what I'm looking at now, let me just move these around a little bit so I can get everything out here. These are from the Archetype deck by Carolyn Miss. Um, wow, okay. So I'm going to get this one first. Child nature, light attributes. So this is like the good, the positive, the negative of every archetype in the deck, because there isn't just good and bad. Everybody holds everything. Light attributes: friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits. Shadow attribute: tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. And then saboteur highlights your fear of self empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. Induces self destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Okay. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that somebody did what they did to you when you were a child. I don't know what that is, and I don't want to hazard a guess at details. What I do know is that it crushed your ability to even like want to be good to yourself, to feel like you deserve friendship and companionship and someone to love you and someone to witness you, and someone to soothe you when you are upset, someone to like help you and to show you that life is worth living, that there is harmony, that there can be flow, that you can protect yourself and actually enjoy and be joyful instead of like hiding, instead of sabotaging everything good, every good thing that comes to you, because your inner child is still very not trusting, and rightfully so, based on what I feel you've gone through. But that doesn't mean it's not a changeable thing. It doesn't mean it's not a nurturable thing, is what I really mean. It doesn't mean that if you Let me start that over again. This is a very painful start of a challenge for a life path. And also, it has the potential to become something so deeply beautiful and impactful and helpful for not only yourself, but everyone that you'll ever meet and touch in the world. This pink with the harmonizing here and these big golden wings, it says like almost everything. It's like you become and emanate this passionate power that helps and protects by teaching people how to find it within themselves. To, I like this, like turn up the gas on your own ability to get out of situations that would like hold you down. This isn't a hot air balloon, this saboteur. And it's like you could either take off and poke holes in your thing, or you can make sure you've got a lot of gas and you're ready to go and fly away. And no judgment. If your wounded inner child, which is your subconscious, which is your ego at its worst behavior, um, does this to keep you safe. I know what that feels like, and it's unfortunate and it's uncomfortable. Uh, However, some of the resolution to that is in this Mercury card. It's about learning to speak to yourself in a more harmonious way that celebrates who you are and the fact that you went through what you went through. Celebrate seasons. This is like a hard thing to do, but if you can appreciate the version of yourself that had to go through this like terrible stuff, if you can appreciate not that it happened, not the person that did it or the people that did it or the institutions or the situation or whatever, not anyone else. If you can appreciate your child self, your younger version of you, for having gone through what they did to give you the possibility to be in a position to possibly do something different now as an adult, that is the beginning of shifting your perspective on this horrible thing that happened to you and to maybe be able to use it to fuel your growth. Wow, look at this card. This is like the fates. This is like the fates, the weavers. So my name is Weaving the Magic. This is very much like the fates deciding when to, oh my gosh, I love how much this sticks out. Deciding when to end a thread, when to end a storyline of like, my wounded inner child can't heal. And because of that, everything just stays the same or hurts or any of those things. You're meant to tailor your life towards something better. You're meant to pay attention to the details of your own story so that you can cut out the responses that don't get you in a better position. What am I trying to say? Hold on here. I like this bird in the scissors. It's about setting yourself free. It's about setting yourself free. The way that this hot air balloon is, this is about setting your nervous system free. There's a lot to do here with learning how to appreciate the simple, the simplicity, the peaceful, the calm. I'm going to pull a couple tarot cards here as well. It's being able to get back into a flow. So it is your path. You are meant to do this. And it's, again, not a thing about pressure, because there are beings, there are energies that have co-created this path for you. You are a whole perspective of the universe that is unfolding, and by your perceiving it, you are creating this potential. And there's so much positivity and happiness in the potentials of like healing and growth and creation of goodness, that these energies just rally and magnetize and add momentum like a train when somebody picks up the momentum of, I'm worth healing this, I'm bigger than this pain, I know there's a meaning in this tragedy if I make it, I know that I'm deserving of just being able to be in my own sovereign being and be calm and have my own flow. In honoring my child self who wanted to do what it wanted to do when it wanted to do it instead of being told and rushed around. That's what it feels like. It feels like you never got time or were never shown how to like slow down and appreciate anything. And that's what you're meant to be doing in this life is cultivating the ability to slow down. Wow, look at that. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So this is the Empress card, this nature, and this energy. I feel like, is this 11? So this is the Strength card in this deck. Wow. This is remothering yourself. Your path, your journey is to learn how to give yourself the mothering energy that you didn't receive. And maybe you did have a mother, and I don't necessarily mean like a female or whatever in your life, but what I do mean is that, like this flow and even this color, child nature, look at these children. Hmm. You had a very trapped feeling childhood. You had a very hidden childhood. You had to hold a lot of secrets, or you weren't able to be who you were wanting to be. There was a lot of like abusive power dynamics. And basically, in this lifetime, it's very, very challenging. It's very, very challenging. And I'm holding so much open heart space right now. And I hope you can feel it, pull it into your field, because this is what your challenge is. It's to practice receiving love, it's to practice speaking it to yourself, honoring yourself, getting vulnerable with yourself. This card here is about being at peace with your animal nature and all the different sides of you. Like, look at all the different creatures that are in here. This peacock that wants to show off, this lion that's actually been tamed by this character or respects this character's gentleness so much that it's willing to align with it. This horse, which is freedom, the eagle perspective. There's so many beings in here, the snake transformation, this ram, the willingness to forge forward. Energy. This is about becoming the energy of what children should have. It's about cutting energetic cords. It's about cutting ties with old karma. You're tailoring what a childhood experience should feel like. You're tailoring your nervous system to respond differently because you deserve to heal after what you've gone through, and you will be in a position to, just by your energy, even if it isn't like something that you want to become a teacher or a healer or a psychologist or any sort of helper, just by way of your healing yourself, your energy becomes strong, it becomes strength for other people. to accept their own parts of themselves, to become vulnerable, and to want to nurture all the aspects of their own selves, even the ones that want to hide. I might, I'm going to pull another card here from this. I want to get one more oracle card out. This is from the Wild and Sacred Feminine deck. I hadn't shuffled any of these into any of the piles, but it had wanted to be included in the reading, and now I know why. Because this deck is a whole bunch of feminine archetypes, mother type of archetypes, and please help me with the message of Mother Nurture that wants to come through for this pile one to help them on their path, to get this softness and ease that they're so deserving of. Oh my gosh. Okay, look at this. I'm choking back tears. Whale, memory. Whales are the most ancient and gigantic beings in our world. They are the most ancient feminine magic. And this to me says that our ancestors, we all come from a womb. We all come from the same cosmic womb. And even if you can't see in your ancestral line the goodness that loves you, it sees you. I'm really emotional right now, pile one. This is like a deep aching that I almost want to do a whole nother reading just for you. So maybe I'll do a reading. I'll let this whale guide me after this. I'll take a pause and a break because this is really deep energy. This has everything to do with this Mercury, by the way. This is like the ancestors want to move through you, okay? To come back to practicality, to come back to grounding right now. The ancestors want to move through you and do some deep, deep healing. Bring people back into the flow of the ancient rhythms, the ancient wisdom, the womb wisdom. And if you don't know what I mean when I'm talking about womb wisdom, I mean this is all mother and child energy, Mother Nature. This is like the human nature of going with the flow of what mother wants, and if and when that is tainted or destroyed, it it causes us to feel lost as human beings. So this whole reading, this life path, this whole thing is about finding your way back to the freedom to nurture yourself. And this can ground you. Listen to some whale sounds. Meditate with whale music. Imagine, like, I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Like, watch people swim with whales or just watch them, recordings of them and things. And allow yourself to entertain the idea that they are your ancestors, because I know that they are. But if you can feel that, you'll be a million steps closer to this nervous system healing, journey that you're on. And it is a journey. This is something that'll be unfolding. This is something that'll always be unfolding throughout your life, not meaning that you'll always be struggling against it. You can absolutely like this card suggests, cut ties with the struggle of it completely and move into the flow of celebration of like, wow, I'm so strong. My energy is so powerful and loving that I re-raised myself, that I harmonized what had happened and was negative, and I found the light. That's the potential that you have here, pile one. And you can find the strength to to forge through all of this when you connect to that feminine, nurturing, deep, larger than life cosmic womb energy. This color blue, like to sink into it, to allow it to surround you lovingly. Like the way that it looks like she's got her tail all wrapped up here. Yeah. Pile one, this is a really deep reading, and I know the challenge that you have is not an easy one. It's not. So I really wish you the best. I wish you harmony. I hope that you find things that can soothe and hold you like you deserve to be held, comfort you like you deserve to be comforted, and set you free. If you can make those your intentions, you can make those your mantras, if you can speak those things to yourself, if you can hold yourself and say, I can and am moving towards my own flow. I am accessing my own flow. I'm entitled to it. I'm being supported in it. That's all I have for you, Pile One. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated with you, please leave a comment, share your experience. I do enjoy reading your comments and your feedback. Please subscribe if you have not. That's all I've got for you. Thank you so much, Pile One. I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose this card from the Tree of Life Oracle, this is your reading. And I'm going to start laying out some of these Oracle cards here. I've also got some tarot cards I'll be shuffling as well, but this first card out is Kether, the Crown, Source Point Attainment. This is the symbol for Neptune up here. I believe this is an eagle. This looks very much like the King of Swords. Here's the Swan, Spades. I'm getting a lot of transformation through wisdom, activation, like open channel, communication with source, all sorts of things. So let's see what else. Virgo. Okay. Wow. And look at, again, that like channel, open channel, communication with the angels, perhaps. This is actually a card from the Archangel Metatron deck. Pink. Self-love and nurture. The seashell. And the mountains in the background. There's been a lot of like harshness. There's been a lot of harshness in your path that's been not enjoyable, but you already know, I think, that it's the grit that has been transforming you. This is an interesting energy I'm getting from this Midas Miser. Oh, and the trickster. Okay, I knew I was laughing for a reason. I was like, well, that's not necessarily funny, but it is. Oh, interesting. I feel like, oh my goodness. Okay, what I feel like in this deck is that this is a very advanced life path that you're walking. I feel like you've already come to Earth many times and you've already cultivated some really good knowledge. Like Virgo is an archetype that knows what it's talking about. It's very analytical. It understands information. It can piece together things. It knows a lot and it's grounded. It's practical. So you have a good handle on turning stuff into wisdom. This is the digestive system, also, by the way. So you have a good process of digesting life. you can see the point and the purpose in like the grit. You know, pearls are formed because there's a bothersome irritation inside of the shell. And the pearl is formed by trying to get rid of it. So it's like you're good at solving problems. However, the whole purpose is not to do it from a nervous system standpoint, a fear based standpoint, like Virgo can often get caught up in, like these two cards suggest getting caught up in. This the path is about taking channeled guidance and not self derived guidance. And wow, but it's so advanced because you've already done that too. But now it's like there's an even greater emphasis on like overcoming that in the material realm. It's, I feel like this is like if you've already been an enlightened being somewhere else, but you come to life in this lifetime with like really the draw towards money or a lot of temptation for distraction and luxury and things like that. Or like this is talking about entrepreneurial or creative ability. But then on the other end, it's talking about hoarding money and fear of losing your wealth. So this is like, and that's a trickster energy because material things are fake in a certain way. They very much matter to us on a human being alive level, but we can't take them with us when we die. There's no soul growth, except your life path has something to do with that. So I'm going to pull the rest of these cards. Wow. Unlock the element. This is from an art magic deck. Unlock the element of fire, willpower, activity, passions, purification. Wow. So, listen, fire is like burning. I'm going to put this over here actually. This is like, it feels like Buddhist energy, like burning through the desire, burning through the need for desire. What is this? The patron, mentorship, finances. Interesting. Ooh, okay, I get it. This is like you don't have to be poor to be spiritual. Like you don't have to be a martyr in order to have a message. Wow. Hmm. This lifetime is preparing you to be in position to be of service and leadership and guidance. Um, it's preparing you to know how to be in position to do a lot of good. Like perhaps you've had to move through a lot of tricky energy already and become very observant of yourself. Be very observant of how you speak to yourself or about life. Let me be more concise because as I'm unfolding this reading, I'm like, oh, okay, this is my pile, and I'm trying not to like, you know, jumble everything together. But essentially, what I get the feeling of is like you have a concept or have had a concept around money or wealth about the wealthy elite and how they're evil and they're taking over the world and they're doing all these bad things and they're creating all these harmful situations and there's all these bad power dynamics, right? But I feel like this is the life path of we're meant to overcome the fear of that or the allegiance to believing in that power dynamic. um, Meant to allow that irritation to bother us so much that we become the energy that is capable of having money and not allowing it to turn you into a bad thing. Um, to not let power go to your head, to not let it be the devil. Like this feels like devil energy, right? And the devil isn't really a force outside of us; it's within us, and it's tricky. It's a trickster energy. And by needing everything to be of value and not finding the value that's already there, there's so many lessons wrapped up in this. And it really has everything to do with a proper assessment of value. What's valuable? Is hoarding money valuable? No. Is hoarding anything valuable? No. What is valuable? Channeling it, sharing it, radiating love, being of service. The patron, mentorship. It's, can you even see that? Mentorship. It's in sharing what you know. It's in like developing a craft. This feels like this feels like being handed keys to a trade, to a book of esoteric knowledge. And maybe this has nothing to do with esoteric anything. Maybe it has nothing to do with actual money. This could mean that you're working at a bank and being the teller or something like that. But what it really feels like is that you have a wealth of knowledge. You have a wealth of knowledge and you also have the means to do something good. And if you don't yet, you're meant for it. It's if you can learn to channel and be of service, like, all right, so if you're a tarot reader yourself, or if you practice any form of divination, or if you pray or meditate, I think what a good idea for you to do, and this is just a suggestion, is like to ask, how can I be of service? How can I be of service to my path? How can I best be of service today? In what way can I be of service? How do I serve best? My mission, my life path. Because listen, if you are willing to be the mentor and the patron, you are going to be given the means to do it. Like, and the unlocking the element of fire is about burning through fear. This card gives a bunch of tools, and I'll zoom in if you want to like screenshot it or whatever. I'm not going to list off. Can I get this to focus? Okay. Um, this has basically a bunch of elements, a bunch of different tools to craft your own, to artistically craft your own ritual. Um, Look at all the hands. Hands. This is about burning away the fear of someone else having control over like your well-being, your finances, your ability to love and nurture and provide safety and comfort and peace for yourself. Virgo is the nervous system and the ability to digest. And so, like, you have to be able to know and feel that you're in control of your own abundance and well being. Um, and that's a good thing. And you're being given the opportunities and the tools or whatever you require to do that because you're also meant to forward that on to others. The archetype of a king is about stewardship. It's about caring. And look at all these crowns. And again, that crown is referencing the crown chakra and taking inspiration or taking guidance, receiving from the cosmos, from above, from the all, from God, from the divine, from source, whatever you want to call it. It's being in tune with the frequencies. It's being in resonance with that channel. I'm going to pull a couple tarot cards here. I always have one pile in the reading that's like rather quick because the message is just there and you already know this information. You're just looking for some confirmation. And I love that so much. I love confirmation. I love being able to have someone else catch me in my blind spots because as human beings, we're interdependent. And I believe that that's part of this mentorship and finances thing. And also the fire thing and the Virgo. I mean, everything about this is of being of service. And it is being of service to say that service is needed because hyper dependence is not like hyper dependence leads to this energy of wanting to hoard. Oh my gosh, here we go. And that's the devil. That's the devil in reverse. And this is this trickster card. This is this trickster energy of distraction, of abundance, meaning too much, of like overconsumption, of overindulgence, of over, and the trappings of that. So this life path is about like not being afraid to share, not being afraid that someone's going to steal your ideas or not reciprocate. This is like, it feels like people who do energy work and are like, I want to charge because everyone says I should value myself, but I really kind of want to give it away for free because I want everyone to have access to what I have access to. This is that life. This is that wobble. This is that wobbling conversation of like, what's the right thing? What's the right thing to do? And you very much have to burn your fear away of doing the right thing. And I'm trying to air quote as much as I can because the right thing is up to this. It's up to your channel. You'll know in the moment. You'll feel it in your nervous system. You'll feel it in your gut if you're listening to your channel or you're like, look at the hands manipulating like the devil is. Give me one more card, please. One more thing to consider for pile 2 about this life path, because this is and can be a really tricky one. I feel like if you've found this, you're at a point of wisdom where you can really discern control from purity too, which is funny because that's on the trickster card. Three of painting. This is the Three of Swords. Sometimes these are pretty graphic, so this is the William Blake Tarot. This is like a pool of blood and suffering and stuff. Practice. Three of painting. I need to get real close to this and bring it up into my face. You know, it feels like enmeshment. This feels like entrapment. It feels like mental torture. It feels like you are being pained. You're in a lot of pain right now, it feels like, because you don't trust that your wisdom is real. You got a trickster energy, a devil on your shoulder. You don't trust that your wisdom, that your channel, that what you're sharing is real. You got a fire ceremony to do. And what you can look that up, you can do a lot of different things, but basically what it means is like write down what it is that you're afraid of, let it out of you, express it, put it somewhere that you can then light it on fire and transform it. Burn away your fear of being seen as a leader, seen as someone who's capable of providing, of wisdom, of doing something good, of putting something good in the world, of what you touch turning to gold. You're capable of good things, pile 2. You're capable of good things. And you don't have to twist and contort yourself to be any specific sort of way in order to share. You also don't have to be pure. You don't have to not have this devil on your shoulder in order to start speaking. That's the trickster that tells you you have to be perfect before you can share. It's wrong. It's incorrect. The trickster will have you believing that only those who have attained or achieved or are perfect or infallible or blah 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 are the ones that go out and do things. Your nervous system will hold you hostage if you believe that stuff. If you listen to your channel, if you listen to your higher wisdom, the eagle, look at that one. If you listen to divinity, if you listen to source, if you get the point, you will have that attainment. This Neptune here is also the subconscious. Oh, and I love that these are birds. I feel like you've got like a, and I don't want to say anything, but I do. Because I'm not super into the like galactic starseed. I don't really know much about it, but this gives me the feelings of the blue avians. It gives me the feelings of thought. It gives me the feelings of the scribe, and not fully, but in the way of like you're meant to pass wisdom. You're meant to share wisdom. And it's the wisdom that even if not everything you touch turns to gold, but only half of it, that you still have a worthy message to share. That your life, that your perspective, that your doings are still valid, and that you're good inside, and that you're worth loving yourself. Is there any other message that wants to come out for my pile twos? Anything else that wants to be touched on for their highest good? 3, 2, 1. Okay, pile 2. I've got nothing else for you for this reading. So I appreciate you tuning in. If this message resonated with you, I'd love for you to share your experience in the comments section. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. It really helps me out a lot. And share this with anyone you know that may appreciate or need this. And thank you so much. I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile 3. If you chose this card, this is your reading. This card is from the Black Moon Lilith Oracle deck. Got a few more oracle cards here as well, and I've got some tarot cards I'll be shuffling throughout the reading. So this is Black Moon Lilith and Aries. Lead your life. And this reading again is about what your life path, what your purpose is, what you came here to experience. Black Moon Lilith and Aries is talking about the repression of self-identity. It's about not being able to have leadership over your own life. Black Moon Lilith is an archetype of, as I had mentioned, like repression of not of this, wherever it's being representing, not having been allowed, having been held back, shamed even, misunderstood. Sorry, trying to get this. There we go. I'm going to pull out the rest of these oracle cards. Jupiter. Endings. You are held. Okay, so I'm feeling like a lack of leadership. Child magical. I'm going to stop here. And a rebel. I'm feeling like a lack of leadership because perhaps you didn't have a father type of figure. Perhaps you didn't have a father figure that was kind and supportive. 45. This feels like the person who was under-fathered, under-loved by a father figure, who then looked for love in all of the wrong places and was always looking for that one magical person, place, thing, drug perhaps, with Jupiter here, or drink, that would get you the love, would get you the happy ending, would lead you to the feelings of finally like content or important. That's what it feels like. You've been given a lack of importance. You've been made to feel less than important in your life. And so much of your life path is about allowing that to end and to redirect your life. You've got a lot of masculine warrior, I want to even say like Viking type of guides that are coming through. Like I feel and it's this teddy bear energy where it's like super gruff on the outside, super rough around the edges type of guys, but that would like lay down their life for you, like really, and would like hold you while you cry. I mean, and I don't know if you don't have these people in your life, but you certainly have these people on the other side. Like, I'm honestly almost lightheaded, overwhelmed with their presence. It's really big. The sailor. Wow. And then I put it right on here too. Um, okay. This is like, this is about finding brotherhood. This is about you're meant to find spirit guides. You're meant to rebel against the way that most people lead their lives. They take leadership from outside sources that are like credible resources, right? Like that person's a doctor, that person's a this, they went to school, they were trained for. You have the need and the desire to rebel against that. You take your authority from a higher place. Like your authority is a higher power, your authority is the magical realm. You get your leadership. Look at like even they're in the clouds in this black moon, Lilith and Aries. They're in the clouds here. Um, and the masculine is hidden and supporting this feminine, carrying her. Like, look at these strong legs. There's so much support here for you. And it wasn't obvious in your life. You know, most of our life paths begin with a challenge. Um, just like any good story or any good movie, there's like a plot, there's a reason, there's a propelling, you know, there's something that propels you. And for you, pile three, it very much is the absence of a masculine presence. It's the absence of someone that helped you learn how to navigate and sail rough waters. It's the lack of optimism that there's like hope at the end of this, that there's light on the horizon. Okay. I'm going to breathe. Look at how beautiful these colors are coming out, too. I love it. So, these two cards, I'm going to go one at a time. These are art magic cards. Excuse me while I get a sip of water here. So, these are art magic cards. Now is the time to make a decision, forge a connection, walk your talk, and keep a promise to yourself. This is about commitment to self. In this lifetime, you are meant to learn how to lead yourself while retaining this child magical rebel thing. Oh my gosh. All things personal leak into my readings, and I refuse to apologize because I can't separate myself because this information is coming through my channel. And this feels like parts of my dad, who very much was like, how the heck are you? Kind of gruff, real rough around the edges, really vulgar, but was such a like marshmallow love. And the rebel in him was so strong, but when disallowed, it becomes self-destructive. When the rebel is praised and encouraged to rebel against things that are appropriate to rebel against, it keeps the magic of the child alive. But when it's crushed, it kills your magic. You're meant to rediscover the magic of like rebelling against the status quo, against the way that things are done. So it's like you're meant to either untie knots that have held you back from being your own leader. And that's what I get the image of. You're untying and retying. It's like, I'm not going to keep this commitment or this charade up of like pretending to be something that I'm not. I'm going to unbind myself from that. And I'm going to make the decision to support my magical child self and be the leader in my life and lean into my guides. This Jupiter here, Jupiter is abundance. Jupiter is tons and lots. Jupiter is also like the patron saint type of gamblers It's about taking a risk. And this is about taking a risk on yourself. It's about betting on yourself, is what I'm feeling like. It's about aligning with what you know is the best way forward, even if other people don't understand that energy, because you're meant to lead your life. And there's a whole lot of support here for you. And then this is unlock the earth element, feeling it in your body. I feel like dance between these cards and this one. This is like dance, letting yourself be seen dancing. This is also, it's got talking about the pottery wheel. I'm going to hold this up so you can maybe get a glimpse, zoom in and get a screenshot of all of these. These are basically like different ingredients, inspiration to do and craft your own artwork or your own ritual to really connect with the earth element. Um, and this feels like the healthy expression of Capricorn, like putting down roots, this brotherhood, fatherly, ancestral, but very much in a masculine, ancestral type of way, leadership type of way. This is putting down roots and leading yourself, learning how to smooth sail, walk into the horizon in front of you. Let me get some tarot cards here. Can I get some clarity here for pile 3? What else on their life path? What is the purpose? Why are they on this journey this way? And some clarity to the endings, that you are held. Okay, well, that one drew that out immediately. Experience. This is the Chariot card. So this is talking about being able to take the good and the bad and move forward with both. Move forward with all things while also considering the past. This is interesting. Something about like learning the wisdom of the old ways, and also, but like foreboding, like don't forget how it ended last time. You've got a lot to do with like, okay. And again, I don't, whatever, the personal, my dad died and he didn't get to live the way that he wanted to, really, that his soul wanted to, really. Liberty. Forgive me while I cry on the inside. This is moving forward. This is the Judgment card. This is really big energy, pile 3. This is really, really, really big transformative energy. This is 2 major arcana of the 2 tarot cards that are on the deck. And Jupiter made it big already. This is about a transformation of the masculine energy, perhaps in your family karma, or your soul family. This is about looking at what the masculine energy, and I don't mean men, but I mean the masculine energy, has created in terms of how people live their life, how we navigate, and how we regard these energies like magic and rebellion. We try to squash that. The old paradigm, the unhealed, the broken paradigm of masculine that's been in charge for a long time on the planet has kind of squashed those energies and not allowed for a lot of personal leadership. And your life path is about getting a healthy, magical, mystically supported experience of transforming that, of really like, oh, I love this. Real power is in surrender. Real power is in surrender to a higher calling, to something that maybe hadn't yet been fully illuminated until you could just go mad, until you allow yourself to go mad If you don't understand what I'm saying, then you're not there yet, and that is really just fine. But in order to be sane, you have to go a little mad when the world around you is insane. And that's a huge message for this pile. Like the not magic. I don't know why I just want to laugh. It's like tying and untying knots, doing and undoing over and over again. Um, Constantly coming to a higher level of leadership and in a better way with all things considered. This is a really high calling. But you can navigate it. One more card for my pile threes. Wow. Another major arcana. So, this is the Temperance card. And this is about patience and balance. And again, considering all things. And really having a higher perspective on the human experience. So I'm just going to throw a couple things out there. I feel like perhaps if you had a father or a parent or a figure that was like irresponsible, because they were like off trying to relive their childhood that they never got to have. I feel like this is coming to full term understanding of like wounded child and how that creates a lack of leadership. Like you are meant to walk the path of learning how to forgive the unforgivable. Like parents are supposed to love and support their children and not leave them out to dry or leave them hanging. And if yours did, that's a lot to recover from. But it's like, oh, your life path has so much to do with like learning how to get rid of judgment, learning how to understand like that people are people and that oftentimes we're doing the best that we can and that it's not exactly smooth sailing for anyone and that no one has really gotten the proper guidance that they need. And you're here to like help aid the understanding of that and the making peace with that and the ceasing judgment of others for how challenging it is to do the right thing, but you're meant to rebel. And it's not forgive to just accept that. You're meant to rebel against it at the same time. You're meant to create something new with this not magic thing if it feels right to you. Perhaps say a prayer to the masculine energy that is, like to the healthy masculine energy that is. And then it's not an asking, it's not a nothing, it's a this. We're ready for your leadership. I'm ready to feel leadership. I'm ready to be inspired by your leadership, rebelling against what needs to be rebelled against, so that we can all hear our calling and sail a little more smoothly together in the rough waters, so we can keep it all together and keep moving forward. Pile 3, I really love this reading. I really feel like you've got a good handle moving forward. And if you don't, maybe you just don't see or feel the support that you have yet. But I do. I feel it really strongly. You have so much power behind you. And if you focus your intention on something and you commit to yourself, when you learn how to commit to yourself, there is the force of 1,000 peaceful warriors behind you. Goosebumps through my whole body right now, my knees specifically, like you're meant to move forward first. Your calling to leadership is so great, and you're not alone. You are held. That's what it says right here. If you feel like you're at the end of your road, it's never the case. You are held. You are held and you're being carried. You're being called. You're being pulled. You're being appreciated. There are beings that want to float your boat. You just have to set your course. You just have to set the intention. Lead your life. Untie some knots. Okay, those are all the messages I have for you, Pile 3. I really hope that you got something from this reading, that this resonated. If it did, please leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel if you've not yet. Like this video. Share it with anyone you think that it may help or assist. And I will see you in another reading. Okay, Pile 4, if you chose this card, this is your reading. This is an oracle card from the Naughty deck. Sometimes it's a little vulgar. This one is not, so that's great. So this reading is about your life path and why you came to experience what you're experiencing. There's been a lot of messages in this, but this feels like a totally different energy. So Psycho Spirit, use your inner guidance. Your choice, your choice. All right, so already it feels like you are probably into some form of divination or interpreting events. Scorpio, some intense feeling energies. Go with the flow, paddle on. All right, you've got a lot of guides. Feminine guides. Okay. There's a lot to do with like learning how to trust your intuition and your emotional guidance system in this lifetime, like learning to value it. I'm going to put these next to each other like that. Learning to soothe yourself. I like the feeling of this reading. I feel like I want to sing row, row, row your boat because this gentle, nurturing, look at all these the children, the mother, the holding, the choices even. This is about maternal guidance. You're here to provide or receive maternal guidance, especially if you didn't in your childhood. You're meant to be able to receive that, create that. Own your intention. The Alchemist. This feels like love spells and snail shells and incantations, little acorns, tiny seeds that grow giant plantations. Just little rhymes that are coming off my tongue because the beauty that wants to be channeled through this mysticism is just like love. Just drink this sweet potion. Just drink this sweetness, is what it feels like. Because Scorpio is emotional intensity. Okay. I feel like you had a super narcissistic type of mother, or parent or energy around you or something like that. You attract that type of energy now in your life because maybe you had it in your childhood. I'm not blaming you. This isn't a shame thing at all. It's meant to be in your life so that you learn from it, because you've also got this own your intention card, which is very much like a be cautious with your words, and not cautious out of fear, but be intentional with your words. Crystallize your why and feel its potential tingling in your bones. So this is like speaking what you want to see and feel in the world. Listen closely to decipher your desires. All right, listen. What I feel here is that you're meant to learn how to determine your feelings versus another person's, become aware when you're soaking up someone else's energy or when it's your own, and diffuse that emotional intensity when that's appropriate, or allow it to move through you when that's appropriate. I feel like that's already the message. I feel like that's already almost clear enough, but I'm going to pull some tarot cards as well because you've got all this mother energy here. So it's obviously not a cut and dry thing. It's obviously not that easy. This is about like learning how to talk to yourself with softness and sweetness and be gentle with yourself because transformation is hard. Developing emotional maturity is hard. And it's not something that comes when you abuse yourself into it. Um, it it's something that comes when you nurture yourself into it because nurture is emotionally mature. Gentleness is emotionally mature. I won't be surprised if the strength card comes out because that is, emotional maturity. Nine of power, nine of poetry powers. This is like the nine of pentacles. We were placed here by the universal brotherhood and mercy, with powers fitted to circumscribe this dark satanic death. This is lovely. Down here, there's a mother feeding a child. Yes. This is like a breastfeeding mother here with another child on looking. All these grapes, these lovers. This figure here with the halo and the like pink type of robes. This is about being self-made, the Nine of Pentacles. So I can tell that in your life you didn't receive and maybe you got poison instead. I feel like Gemini energy. Like maybe you had a lot of two-facedness around your mother or around feminine energies, or it doesn't have to be that. There's just a lot of that that's showing up, and there's a lot of emotion where there should be like mothering energy. Two-facedness is like saying one thing, but saying that, like pretending to be kind to other people, but really like talking bad about them behind their back, or saying that you love your children and you like spending time with them, but every time you are with them, you're paying attention to other things. So, like, not real, I get a lot of like the fake, like you had to just keep paddling on, go with the flow. It's like in an earlier part in your life, you had to go with a flow that didn't feel comfortable, but now you are understanding that it's your choice what model you want to follow. You are a self-made energy, and you can either allow the lack of nurture and love to form you and your perspective of life into that of like harshness, and the world is cruel and no one's looking out for me and I have to fight for myself and against everyone. Or you can say, this void of nurture is an opportunity for me to teach myself how to nurture, how to receive that type of energy, how to feel it. Patience, seven of painting. This is the seven of swords. This is stealing the moon. Interesting. What came out with it? Man of painting. So this is the King of Cups. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is painting with all of the colors of emotion. This is emotional maturity. It all means something. The sorrow, the wanting, the lack, the waiting, the not having, it means something. But this is the ability to be vulnerable and find strength and beauty and flow in being vulnerable. Seven of Science. Interesting. So this is lamentation. It's like, why am I like this? Okay. Oh, sweet darling. I want to give you a hug, pile four. I want to give you a hug, not out of pity. It's not out of pity at all. It's because you deserve a hug. And you like got the moon, the mother, stolen from you. You were left empty handed, and you have all of this passion and you have all of this beauty, and you're so wonderfully lovely and perfect. And it was never your fault that you were under nurtured. It was never your fault that you didn't get your emotional needs met as a child. And as an adult, it is your responsibility to learn how to do that, how to cultivate that. And this card is talking about not hiding from yourself. It's about being emotionally mature enough to paint with all of your colors. That Pocahontas song is coming into head from the Disney movie back in the 90s. Like, paint here with all the voices and paint with all the colors of the wind. Learning to express your emotions and mother yourself in them, baby yourself for them. But again, discerning from, okay, so this is a life path of a super empath. You know, you're a super empathetic person, and you can either use that to fuel your victim story, or you can use that to fuel your empowered story. You can hide from yourself and let people steal your emotional clarity, or you can paint a very discerned picture for yourself. Your choice. And either, like, no matter what you do, you're going to feel intensely about it with this Scorpio energy on the board. No matter what you do, you're going to feel intensely about it. So, what I would recommend is that you mother yourself. You treat yourself like a mother and a child, and you give yourself everything that a child would need, because then this emotional intensity is going to be like that awesome laughter that only children have, that like super deep in the belly laughter and joy and appreciation and curiosity and sincerity and friendship and all of the good stuff. Emotional intensity doesn't have to be bad. It will be if you don't um, master, and mastery happens every single day. Like, this isn't something that you achieve, you know, and then you're done with it. This is, if you are walking the path of allowing life to teach you emotional mastery, if you make it your choice to discern when you're going to super feel and when you're going to observe what's happening and detach, if need be, from other people's emotions, then that emotional intensity that you feel will be the good version by and large. You know, you can't avoid all hardship or pain, but you can certainly minimize it. And again, here's this self-made card. You, this life path, you are meant to make yourself into the person that's capable of holding your feelings and treating yourself the way that people are meant to be treated, to not let anyone steal your thunder or sunshine, to really be able to face yourself. You want to be able to live with yourself. You want to be able to like go with the flow. And the alchemist, you're inventing a whole new way. It's like, ooh, a dose of medicine, a taste of your own medicine. You're creating a medicine that actually works, pile four. You're creating a medicine of love that actually works. Wow, I love this very much. I really feel like that's it. That's the message. I mean, I could go on and on, but I'm not going to, because it comes down to loving and nurturing yourself. Make yourself a sweet drink. Like, if you are down with honey or agave or whatever it is, some sort of delicious juice or something like that. But like, spend a little time making a magic potion, a love potion for yourself. I really strongly suggest that. And allow it to be something that helps you see yourself um, as separate from the other, and not in a bad way, but so that you can safely detach, so that you can just be allowed to just take care of you, so that you can see yourself cleanly and clearly for the sweet little bit of magic that you are. All right, that's all I've got for you, Pile 4. If this reading resonated with you, I really appreciate you sharing your feedback, your experience in the comments, liking this video, subscribing to my channel if you have not, and I hope to see you back for another reading soon.